What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Breaking News. $225 billion of EIDL grant and loan money is still available. It is Tuesday, August the 3rd, 2021. Please do me a huge favor. Give this video a thumbs up. Hashtag EIDL in the comments below. And make sure you follow me over on Twitter, where I'm scorched earth at the moment, at TrySmallBiz. That's at TrySmallBiz. Username SmallBizInc. Because I want to know, did the Congress just gut the entire targeted Eidl advance and supplemental program? Or, as CNBC just said in a pinned article, both on YouTube and Twitter, there's actually $225 billion in total still available. So ladies and gentlemen, pull up a chair, grab a cup of coffee, ice cold beer, glass of wine, whiskey on a big rock. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you might be asking yourself, what are you doing with a windbreaker / rain jacket on? Well, as some of you know, on Twitter, I announced several hours ago, I just got another flat tire. My second flat tire in the last 30 days. First, I hit a pothole, front right tire gone, put the spare on a couple weeks ago. Today, I'm going around a corner just about a couple of miles from my sister's house in a town called Milton at about 55 miles an hour, and the left front tire blows out. Thank God. There was a beautiful farmhouse on the right about a quarter mile up the road. I rode nice and hard on the rim until I got there, pulled off on the side. And then I had to wait 2 hours for a tow truck to come, take my ass all the way to a town called Canton. The whole thing took about 4 hours. All I had on was a pair of shorts, you might as well call it underwear, and a t-shirt. Because I got up this morning, I was like, I'm going to go down to the store and get something to eat. I didn't think I was going to blow out a tire, have to sit in the scorching heat, then in the pouring rain, then rush back here so I could tell you guys that it's not as bad as we thought yesterday. But let me start by saying the following. This is a fluid situation, ladies and gentlemen. We're all trying. Max, Ryder, Builder, Speak and See, you know the crowd. We're all trying to make sense, along with the mainstream media, or should I say the lamestream media. What the hell just happened in the last 24 hours when Congress gutted the Eidl program, both on the targeted advance side and on the loan side? Well, in the mass confusion of it all, there are differing opinions. And I'm not going to single anybody out. But what I will say is Max Maher is aligned to what I said yesterday and what I just read, and it's pinned in the top, from CNBC, one of the most trusted, somewhat nonpartisan, although they lean a little bit left, in terms of what's going on in the business world. So here's the deal. Yesterday, I read out loud to you in the bill, 2,700 pages long, there was $17.5 billion rescinded for the targeted Eidl advance. That's 10 grand for low-income communities. And there was $13.5 billion, we thought, times a multiple in the loan program. Well, CNBC, Biz Journal, and many others are saying that the literal number is only $31 billion. Let us not forget, there was about $255 to $260 billion of unspent EIDL loan, not the grant, loan money as of last week. So we've also heard, and this is also on CNBC, as well as bizjournal.com and many other publications, there was a total of $30 billion of the targeted Eidl advance and $5 billion of the supplemental when you add the American Rescue with the prior administration. In total, there was $30 billion of targeted Eidl advance, $5 billion of the supplemental 5K. As of the last COVID EIDL report that I pinned a few days ago, they have spent about $2.5 billion of $30 billion. And they've spent a little over $1 billion, close to $1.5 billion of the $5 billion supplemental. So if you take away $17.5 billion, you already spent $2.5 billion, that's 20. So if we're right in the number is actually $30 billion, 30 minus 20 leaves $10 billion, as I said yesterday, for the $10,000 targeted Eidl advance. And yes, you must be in a low-income community, suffer a 30% loss, and have 300 or less employees. There still is, because there's absolutely nothing referenced specifically in this bill related to the supplemental, there's still 3.5 of the $5 billion there. So if you add it all up, there is approximately $13.5 billion, as Max Maher said this morning in his video, of targeted and supplemental advance money for low-income communities. And there's over $200 billion because, as CNBC just pointed out, they only pulled $13 billion and change out of the loan pile. Now, if you ask me, why the hell is that, right? They have over $250 billion last week of the EIDL loan pile unspent, which would give us plenty of room for $2 million caps and get everybody a couple $100,000 or close to it of 24 months of working capital on average. Why would they gut most, if not all, of the targeted Eidl advance? Well, I have a theory on that. I have two reasons as to why that is. It was a PR fucking nightmare, wasn't it? The rest of us, including myself, have been lighting the SBA on fire for the last 6 months as of a couple days ago, August 1st, because they'd only paid out $314,000 in the last 6 months of the $10,000 targeted Eidl advance. And as Speak and See rightly did for a number of months, for crying out loud, he pointed out repeatedly that the low-income policy map was fraudulent. And I might as well throw in discriminatory and racist, because there were so many minorities, women, and our great veterans, thank you for serving this country, who were literally inches, feet, or on the other side of the so-called purple zone on a street. And no, you're not entitled. So they were facing a mountain of fucking negative PR. There were lawyers from last month that I shared with you that said it's not a matter of if, but when they get challenged in the court of law for the targeted Eidl advance. So what better way to eliminate or reduce that legal nightmare? Just get rid of the whole fucking program altogether. So if you're sitting there wondering, why did they eliminate 2/3, perhaps even all, according to some channels, of the targeted Eidl advance? They wanted to get rid of the nightmare. They wanted to stop hearing from guys like me that they were eliminating 5 to 7 million middle-income families. That's the number one reason why I think they dipped in and got rid of the targeted Eidl advance, or at least $17.5 billion of it. Again, Max, and many other publications believe they still have about $10 billion that they're obligated to. So yes, if you're in the queue, if you've been approved and didn't get your money, if you're a low income and you've been sitting there for several months, as far as I'm concerned, and I know opinions vary, you're obligated. So you need to take screenshots. You need to create a file, a legal file, all the times, dates you've called, you've emailed, etc. Take a photo of yourself and your address with respect to your business inside of that purple zone. Get ready for the SBA to say, oh, by the way, Congress just took away all the fucking money. Oh no. Then we're going to have to get legal involved. But the problem is, and I spoke to another lawyer today when I was on the side of the fucking road. He said, Jason, the problem that we're going to have, and this is why there hasn't been any lawsuits with respect to the targeted Eidl advance yet, the SBA is following the letter of the law. If they gut the Eidl program, as they're trying to do with this infrastructure, that's not the SBA. That's the federal fucking government. By the way, did you see, what is it? Mnuchin, Joe Manchin's wife, both of them full of shit as far as I'm concerned. Joe Manchin's wife's running a group. She got $1 billion. Gee, I wonder why that is. They can't seem to get Joe and who is it? Kristen Sinema, two leaning right Democrats to get on board with their fucking $6 trillion behemoth spending plan. So why not give Manchin's wife $1 billion? Do you guys see what the fuck we're dealing with? They don't care about small business. Don't ever believe middle class Joe and his bullshit. I know half of you voted for Joe Biden, but you must admit they're not doing small business of middle income communities, minorities, women, and our great veterans an ounce of fucking service. And what more proof do you need? They just gutted most, if not all, of the targeted Eidl advance program. They're a bunch of cock-sucking motherfuckers, in case you didn't hear what I said yesterday. But the good news is this. They know they've got a PR fucking nightmare. Jackie Rose and I lit her and John Cornyn's ass on fire today, not just on Twitter. I called her about 3 times, and apparently she's got a new chief of staff who won't get on the phone with me, but believe me, when I say I ripped someone a new a-hole, you have no idea, ladies and gentlemen. I am hoping and I'm praying the reason that she and John Cornyn have been totally silent, haven't said a word about S513 in 4 months, is they knew this was coming. They knew there was going to be a bipartisan infrastructure deal, and they were going to have to surrender $31 billion, as per the CNBC article, of Eidl grant and loan money. But maybe, just maybe, this $3 trillion plus budget reconciliation that's coming up right behind this deal, where they don't need a single Republican vote, Vice President Harris breaks the tie, especially if they're bribing Manchin's wife with $1 billion. They're going to have no trouble getting all of the Democrats on board for over $3.5 trillion of spending. And you would think, quite possibly, they could slide an amendment in there along with the Maloney amendment, which modernizes the SBA. So when you call customer service, they can actually tell you where the fuck your loan or grant status is. Maybe, just maybe, they're clawing some of this back to, for whatever reason, I don't have an answer, to get rid of the PR nightmare of the targeted Eidl advance. And then they're going to make it easy, and they're just going to come out, regardless of location, credit score, or size, you get up to $10,000 or $15,000. I don't fucking know what's going on. All I know is this: there's still 225 or thereabouts $1 billion. It's not just me. It's not just Max. It's CNBC and many others. They're only touching $31 billion. 17.5 out of the targeted Eidl advance of 10K. Nothing is being touched from what we can see with respect to the supplemental of 5K. And there's still $210 to $215 billion of unspent Eidl loan money. Now, let us not forget, Blaine Lutenmeyer, however you pronounce his last name, he's proposed the Entree Act to add another $60 billion out of that $200+ billion of unspent Eidl for the restaurants. I have no problem with that, right? We had 3,000 restaurants that had their grants clawed back. That was a bunch of bullshit, and we all know it. I have no problem pushing some of that money over to the restaurants and leaving, I don't know, $175 billion of unspent Eidl. You know why I like that? It's the same reason I told you a month ago. It sets a precedent. What does that mean, Jason? Well, if they're going to move $60 billion over for the Entree Act, why the fuck can't they, through reconsideration, probably when the Entree Act is going to get into law, why can't they move $15 billion over for S513? Get everybody 10 grand regardless of size, location, or credit score. It sets a precedent. If Blaine and company in the House are going to take $60 billion of the 200+ that's unspent, fair enough. Now that we gutted the targeted Eidl with respect to the infrastructure bill, we're taking 15, 20, 30 billion dollars or whatever it ends up being, and we're going to put it into the Eidl grant program from the CARES Act, so we don't have to wait 6 months to get 300 and some odd thousand people funded. I don't know. We could get 3 million plus funded, $10,000 or the balance thereof. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you appreciate that I rushed back, wet, hot, sweaty, pissed off from my fiasco with my own vehicle, and was able to bring you some level of sense. Always remember, I love you, each and every single one of you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching.